A new report shows which countries are the happiest countries in the world, and unfortunately, the U.S. has dropped.
Yeah, out of more than 140 countries that were surveyed, the U.S. fell to 23rd place when last year the U.S. was placed 15th. So to dive into that today, we have parenting expert Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, who joined us. Thank you so much. If I remember correctly, when I was reading through this report, there is a specific age group that seems to be struggling the most.
Yes, it's our under 30s. So the reason why we drop so much is this is an average of over the last 3 years. That's how they do it every year. So that means if you think about over the last 3 years, how the under 30 group has been experiencing life, getting into adulting, launching, all of those kinds of things. And so we're seeing really big drops in their particular happiness. I will say though, our baby boomers, those above 60, happy, very
thriving,
happy.
right, yeah.
They're thriving, but not those under 30.
Okay, explain to us why, we're seeing this happen for both different groups.
Yeah, so starting with the under 30, because that's the really concerning part, we're seeing two things, that they're losing hope. They don't have a set, they're worried about, climate change and mass shootings and all of the real things that we see around us, and the economy. Even though in some measures you can say our economy is doing okay, the perception is, no, it's not. And so between buying houses less, they're less invested, they're less grounded in that kind of way. They have this sense that they're not going to do as well as their parents, that they're not as financially stable, that things don't feel as grounded. And so therefore, they are less connected with others and report higher levels of loneliness.
Well, we were having that same conversation just here in the commercial break. I mean, the perception comes from, real conversations and data out there.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're talking about housing prices that are really high and then inflation, again, even though some of these things are cooling, they don't really see it. And then if you think about, this is under 30. So this is probably, my guess would be like 24 to, sometimes they do 19 to 30, 24 to 30, but regardless, they're young adults or entering into adulthood. They're not just 30-year-olds. So we could be talking about early 20s too. And so if you're talking about early 20s, if you think about the last 3 years, it's been a very, very hard last 3 years, emotionally, socially, but really one of the biggest takeaways is that lack of connection and feeling like you're a part of community. That's a great mental health measure.
I feel for that younger generation growing up in an era of social media and feeling like climate change is their reality, where they have to take major drastic steps. It's a big burden and it's weighing on their minds. I'm curious what the components were to compare the different countries where they're ranking them.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. I don't have them all memorized, but I know it's not just a matter of like, hey, are you happy?
Right.
They really look at all these different measures, from connection to community to how you're doing in your employment to how you feel like your finances are going. So I think it was 6 measures, and they've been doing this, I believe it's like 20 years. So they've been doing it for a while, and we keep going down, and in general, right, the whole U.S. goes down because it was so strong with that under 30. However, to highlight some positivity, the over 60s, now they're happy. And I think a lot of that has to do with the difference. That piece about social media is real. And I do feel like all roads lead back to there. But they did specifically say in one of the reports that FOMO was a real factor for those under 30s. Above 60, they don't have that. They're actually truly connecting with other couples or in a community, and they're doing things.
And they're a little bit more established. They're not worried about affording a home because they've been in a home probably already.
Absolutely. So that financial piece and that social connection piece are 2 key indicators in this report.
Wow, so fascinating and so telling, kind of the state of the mind.
We could talk about this all day long.
Seriously.
I have so many more questions that I would love to get to you. We'll have to bring you back whenever we see this develop a little bit more. So Dr. Ziegler, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right.